Something we hear as survivors of narcissistic abuse a lot is the word forgiveness. This is a dangerous word, and I'm going to go into why. I go around on the threads and, the narcissism communities, personality disorder communities, and one of the things you see a lot of is the idea of forgiveness, and that you don't forgive for the person, you forgive for yourself. And that's true to a certain extent. You do forgive for yourself. Absolutely. Not even to a certain extent. Absolutely. You forgive for yourself. But I will say this about forgiveness. If somebody needs to talk you into forgiving, then you haven't forgiven anyone of anything. And you are doing nothing more than compounding your own abuse. Because here's why. Only you know if you really forgive. You know in your heart of hearts and in your soul and the pit of your stomach whether or not you've actually forgiven someone, or if you're once again compromising your principles to just make it all go away. And sometimes we can trick ourselves into thinking, yeah, sure, I forgive. And you may have. You may have legitimately forgiven. But to me, you've only really forgiven if you never think of that incident again, and it truly doesn't bother you. Because if it's still bothering you, and it's still something in that keeps you up, and it's in the back of your head, and it's still something that you think about, then you haven't forgiven anything. And all you're doing is suppressing your own need to recover. You see, what is that when those memories spark back of somebody we've supposedly forgiven? How many times have you forgiven your abuser? Every time there's an argument and you've tried to make a stand, and then you go back, you've forgiven. You've said, I forgive, but you haven't. Because we carry around this baggage with us that haunts us and haunts us and haunts us. To me, the worst thing you could do is say you forgive somebody you don't forgive, because you're killing yourself inside. And when you're thinking about it, even though you said, oh, I forgave this person, but when you're alone and you're in your own thoughts, and whatever happens, still you're thinking about, you haven't forgiven that person. And your subconscious, or whatever it is that is making you think of that incident, is sounding an alarm bell in your head. Get away, get away, get away from this person. Forgiveness is inside. Forgiveness is in here. You could say you forgive. And, anybody who's trying to talk you into forgiving doesn't understand the concept of what forgiving is. And could care less about what your problems are. They just want it all to go away. Oh, go away, go away, don't talk. Forgive and forget, forgive and forget. No, they're not saying forgive and forget. They're saying shut up, shut up, shut up, and don't talk about it. And deal with it in your own head, and don't put the mirror in front of our face. Something I've spoken of many times is the narcissistic tactic to come at you to come to you as if they're doing you a favor. They're looking out for your best interest. As telling you to forgive is no different. Is no different. Who is somebody else to tell you how to feel emotionally, what to do with your emotions, your memories, and how you process them? How dare they? How dare you? A real friend, a real family member, it just listens. Just listens. Gives advice when you ask for it, but doesn't offer up what you're not looking for. It doesn't have an agenda. Nobody who's really looking out for you is going to tell you, just forgive, just forgive. You can't. The worst thing, because it always haunts us. It always haunts us. It's always in the back of your mind, like this did this and this person did that. And there they are, and I sold myself out again. For what? For what? This person hasn't changed one iota. And the people that were convincing you to forgive them, they haven't changed either. They just want to keep status quo, and they could care less about the turmoil that goes on inside your head. Now, I'm not saying don't forgive people. Absolutely. If you can get to the point where you can forgive, and I hope I can get to a point where I can forgive. But it's real hard to forgive people who don't even acknowledge, who are always running a game on you. You will never, ever be able to say, well, I didn't forgive for them, I forgave for myself. You know, I can't speak for everybody, but does that sound right to you? I forgave for myself. We know as humans, okay, what's right and wrong. Okay, and our conscience doesn't allow it. Because if you truly forgive, you don't harp on it anymore in your own mind. Okay, and we know what goes on in our own minds. When we're sitting home alone, when we're in the car, when you're in the shower, whatever you're doing where it's with you and your own thoughts. You know what you're thinking about. Do those things that happen still replay in your mind after you have quote unquote forgiven this person? If they have, you haven't forgiven them. And you're crushing your own recovery. And once again, you are selling your own feelings short to make others happy, to suit the narcissist, to suit everybody but yourself. Only you can forgive. And that's not something you could be talked into. That's not something you can read on an internet meme, forgive and forget, and it makes everything all right. It sounds nice. It makes a nice internet meme. It makes a nice greeting card. Greeting cards aren't reality. That's the problem with them. They say a lot of nice, squishy stuff that doesn't really relate to real life. It's a fantasy world. The forgive and forget is a big part of it. And it's hard to forgive without understanding, which is going to be the subject of my next video, which is probably going to drop later today or tomorrow. And that's going to be, if you can kind of get an idea of who your narcissist was supposed to be, you may have an answer of why they acted the way they acted towards you. And I came to some realizations I'm going to talk about in my next video, which is going to be quite lengthy. So look for that either tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to try to get it out as soon as possible. And Let me know what you think on this one, on the subject of forgiveness and narcissists. Please keep commenting, like and subscribe, and share my video wherever, any of my videos, wherever you see fit. Because again, the more who know, the better it gets for all of us. Until next time, Ollie Matthews, and I'll see you all real soon. Thanks. Bye.